Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the season finale of South Park, Splatty Tomato. And I think that this episode was pretty good overall. The only one issue I had was with the whole Bob White and the joke of the White family. I just thought that it wasn't deep enough, that it was just kind of like a surface level joke, and that a little bit more could have been done to make it a little bit funnier. But other than that, I liked really where they went with the whole Garrison, Kyle, Heidi Cartman relationship and how that was interwoven and closed out for this season. So it starts off and we're at a house and it's kind of raining and this little girl screams and her parents come in and she's saying that he's going to get her. And they're like, who's going to get you? The president. I saw him. And of course the dad goes in. Your liberal school filling your head with garbage. The president's doing the best job that he can, and they're trying to convince you that he's dangerous. And she's like, no, that's not what I'm going for. And he's like, no buts. The president's in the White House. Everything's okay. We're going to talk with that school in the morning as the parents leave the room. And Crystal then goes to the window, looks out, and we see Garrison outside asking how his approval ratings are. And she then screams again. So I'm kind of already liking what they're kind of doing with Garrison at this point. It's evidently after nuking Canada, things did not go well for him. So then we get to Kyle, and of course we get more updates on this, getting a report that over 1 million Canadians have been killed in the blast. The entire city of Toronto is taken out, and the fallout can kill thousands more. And Kyle's just like, holy shit. So Ike then shows up outside of his room, and he's trying to apologize to him. He's like, I was just trying to get toxic shows taken down, and it can be really harmful. And Ike is like, stop being a victim, Jesus Christ, and then walks off. And that's a big theme that gets throughout the episode. And I kind of liked what they were doing with it, because Kyle tried to turn it into a victim thing of himself, of he was being wronged because this girl didn't like him. He was being wronged by this TV show, and that's why he wanted to get it completely taken off instead of trying to think, all right, what have I done in this situation that I could have improved better? How could have I improved my talking to Heidi and all that to try and get her to better herself? And we see Kyle kind of reflecting on that throughout this episode. And we see other characters kind of figuring that themselves. So we get to the school, and we see Bob White complaining and everything to PC Principal and Vice Principal Strongwoman. But of course, they're having their issues of liking each other. And he's talking about how they're preaching their political views to their kids and giving their daughter nightmares. And just because that they're principal and vice principal doesn't mean they need to brainwash their kids. And the PC principal's like, dude, we kind of got bigger problems, alright? And then he's going into how he had such an issue trying to get an appointment. Never heard of the Whites before. Been here since the beginning. No one cares about the Whites. And I like how he's kind of ranting, and we just see PC Principal and Strongwoman kind of looking at each other and all that. And they're just like, listen, we're trying to keep the school as great as possible so nobody can question the integrity of the school and all that. And talking about like feelings and all that, and then they just kind of like start looking at each other, and of course we start hearing a song playing again. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. And this is going on while Bob White is talking and ranting, and then the wife's like, sorry, does anybody else hear this song playing very, very quietly? And they're like, no, I promise won't let anything question the integrity of the school. And of course, Bob was like, well, I guess that's all the Whites can hope for these days. So then we get to the stuff with Garrison. We see a bike, and we see Tweak riding his bike, thunder going on. He stops, and then he sees this red balloon. And I love how they did a really good job of fusing Garrison with Pennywise and It, as we see the red balloon slowly rotate, and we see Make America Great Again, and then it pops, and then Garrison's there, freaking Tweak the fuck out. He's like, oh god! Garrison asks, like, how's my approval ratings? Tweak screams and vaults off, and he's like, whoa, 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 wait, what's wrong? That was just a really great scene. So then we get to a news anchor kind of giving us more information of what's going on, saying there's no word from the president since he's gotten his Splatty Tomato approval rating dropping to an unprecedented 3%. I really enjoyed how they essentially fused the approval rating with the Rotten Tomatoes kind of rating. And they made a better joke that's like 4 points below Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature. So they go to, meanwhile, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called upon Canada to stand strong. And then we switch over, and this was kind of crazy but kind of funny. We see pretty much a blast-damaged Toronto with also a blast-damaged Justin Trudeau. Just like completely disheveled and crazy, and it's just, okay, yeah, they went there. They went there, and he's just going, alright, make no mistake, America, if you don't hand over your president, you'll have a war of the likes you've never seen. And calling on Canadians to stand together and be strong, even if those abroad. We see Ike watching, and that the president has to answer for his crimes, and only Canada can bring him to justice. And then Ike gets this determined look on his face, and kind of goes off, and it's like, and we're just, okay, what's he going to do now? So we get to Tweak and Greg. Tweak's being freaked out. Craig is trying to comfort him and everything. And I'm like, I saw him, man. I saw him, and you've got to believe me. And then Kyle and Stan come up, and they're just like, what's going on? And Craig's just going, well, Tweak had a panic attack, and Tweak goes, this was real, and he tried to get me. He's who? The president. And Stan is kind of getting serious and looking kind of away. They're going, it's just your imagination. Tweak's just still going on, and Stan goes, it's not. I saw him too. By the quarry. I didn't believe it. How could this be? And Heidi finishes, the president. And she says that she saw him too. And they're all got bikes and everything. And she's going, I saw him. He had his blue suit on, his orange face. And he asked me, like, how are my approval ratings as Token finishes coming up? Yeah, it's crazy. I saw him too. Really familiar. Saw something just like this on a show called Stranger Things. Finished by Randy. And Randy comes up with a bike. They really did a good job of lampooning It and Stranger Things in this episode with the whole situation going on. And they're talking about, yeah, we saw, isn't this kind of like another thing from It? Cartman says, yeah, I saw that in theaters too. Token's like, I've seen them both. And everybody's just like looking freaked out. Randy's like, Jesus, I don't think anybody's imagining anything. We've gotta, you kids get inside. I've gotta like warn the town. And then he tries to ride off the bike and then falls on his face. It was just a really kind of funny joke that everybody was on bikes, even Randy, and Randy's trying to go off on his bike and just falls down. So then we get to the mayor addressing the town, and everybody is just trying to figure out what's going on. Somebody's like, well, president's here, scaring the children. What are we going to do about it? So everybody goes, we all just kind of want to get rid of him. Bob White's like, that's not true. Some of us still support the president. And everybody's like, for fuck's sake, he's running around, eating pets, and terrorizing kids. And then he just goes, you think Hillary would be any better? And everybody's just telling him to sit down because that's not the point of what's going on at the moment. And he's saying, I'm just saying, alright, we gotta get the team up that we're gonna try and locate. We get Officer Bright up, and he's leading the search, and he just starts laying out what they need to do. Alright. I know everybody's concerned. Rest assured, we're doing everything we can to track down and safely remove him. Since he's given a Splatty Tomato, he has been desperate and very dangerous. If you see the president, do not approach him or reason with him. And you cannot shoot him. I can't believe that they had to go this in depth. It's like complete craziness. But this is South Park, and I love it when they crank it up to 11. So they go out of their way saying, nobody reason with him, talk with him, shoot him, or talk about shooting him, or do anything in a satirical kind of way to allude to doing that. Just avoid it altogether. Because they could do to you what they did to Kathy Griffin. And then Randy's like, make her not funny for 30 years? And he goes, that's right. And that was just a good kind of dig. I really kind of like that. So their plan is to pretty much use padlocks, lock up all the garbage, so that way he can't get any food, and he will just go away. Just almost in a tactic of like dealing with a troll. Ignore the troll, don't feed it, go away. So we get down to Ike, and we see that they're putting a missing poster because Ike is supposedly missing. We see standing and the rest of them looking at it, going, oh my god, kids are now missing. What? Tweet's getting freaked out. They see Kyle, and he goes, it's my fault. Ike went to take matters into his own hands. We have to find him. Craig goes, we'll help you. All of us. Even Cartman's going into it. It's going, okay, he'll actually help out. And Heidi's kind of pissed off because it was supposed to be our date night. We got more pressing matters. Okay? And she's going, what? Great. Kyle's brother goes missing. Now I get fucked. Essentially playing out a duality of Cartman who will help in certain situations and be an asshole in certain situations. And Kyle just goes, okay, I don't need anybody. And she goes, oh, what's the matter, Kyle? Don't we want me around because you had the hots for me and I shut you down? And he goes to her and goes, I'd never have the hots for a person like you are now. And she's shocked, going, whoa. And it's just cool having Kyle come better to a realization and go, you know what? Screw this. I gotta slice that off, get done, and like deal with it and be done with it. So he's like, come on, we know what we gotta do. We've seen it in Stranger Things. We gotta get our backpacks, go into the woods, save the town from evil to some kick-ass 80s music. And this, I really like this segment. It could have went on for a little too long, but they did the right amount in what they were doing with this group going forward. So we get then to an Italian restaurant. We see PC Principal, Strong Woman, and Butters. And evidently, they have been making student of the day things to have lunch together. They're going, oh yeah, we have a reservation here for our student of the day to take him for lunch with the principal and vice principal. What's the reservation under? Woman, first name, Strong. I mean, come on, how many other people in town have the last name Woman? But I just love how he's like, I gotta check the reservations and everything. And they go down and they sit in the booth, and I love how this scene works because we've got PC Principal and Strong Woman talking about a serious matter, and you just have Butters there with this just happy-ass look on his face, just being Butters. So, she's pretty much bringing it up. Listen, we can't keep doing this. They're going to figure it out eventually. And PC Principal's like, is it my fault that I found the most amazing, perfect, beautiful woman who I work with? And they're trying to figure out who will understand or not. And just trying to figure out what the situation will deal with. And they're just like, hey, should we order now? Just completely oblivious, letting it go over so that he's... But to be fair, if you're a kid and you get to go outside and eat lunch at a restaurant, you wouldn't give a fuck about what's going on there. Yeah, you could pick up that it's a serious conversation, but hey, you're getting to eat out, you're outside of school, so who gives a shit? So, we get back to the White's house, and Bob is evidently going out with a food bowl, doing a whistle, and just setting up food, and then Randy and the rest of these people are like, what are you doing, Bob? He goes, damn it. He's saying, well, I was going to take these finger sandwiches to the trash. And Randy goes, we had agreed not to feed him, and just let him go away. Not all of us, you all. Nobody asked the Whites how they felt. And they're like, Pop, come on. We have to get him out of here. And he goes on to Hillary Clinton with the funds in 2003 from foreign diplomats. And Randy's like, goes, how does this have to deal with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Come on, Bob. And they bring up a valid point. If Canada finds out that he is hiding here, they are going to nuke us. It was crazy the amount of like reasoning that was in that kind of thing coming from Randy. Because usually the situations are far crazier and outlandish, but yeah, Canada was nuked. If they found out where the president was, they'd probably do a retaliatory strike on wherever he was at. So they have a point being like, he needs to get out of here because we don't want to get nuked. So, of course, he takes the sandwiches, and of course, Bob's just being pissed off about that. Fine, take the sandwiches. They're taking everything else, and goes in the house, slams the door. So, then we get to the kids, and they're really kind of funny bits, with also some serious things going on throughout. They're like going through the woods to the Chicago Bears Super Bowl Shuffle, and Stan's going like, dude, this is 80s music? Craig's like, it's Pandora, 80s channel, let's get to the next song. We're trying to get psyched to destroy evil, we need better music than this. And then it goes to Gloria, and they just keep going, and we get to this bridge, and Heidi starts reminiscing because this was the bridge that she had thrown her phone off of when she quit Twitter. And Cartman goes, well, what are you doing? And this place where I was going to end it all. Remember? I threw the phone, quit Twitter. I was so different, naive and hopeful. Yes, honey, we got to get going. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to relive the moment where our relationship started. Asshole. Touching, I love you so much. I love you so much. And quietly going, I'm so sorry, you guys. So, and he's trying to remember what it felt like to be nobody, calling her a skinny bitch, seeing the kind of ghost thing going on of her past self, and they need to keep going, so they keep going further on. We got the mayor. Let's see here. Yeah, she's going, well, tell me you got something. Well, we don't have something at the moment, but we don't have anything, and worse, some kids have gone missing, and the mayor's going, oh, for crying out loud, do we have anything? And he's going, don't worry, we've set up a fox trap in the woods. And at first I'm like, what's going on with this fox trap? Well, then we get to another great thing in this episode. You see Garrison acting kind of like 11, and finds this mouse and eats it, like whole. And then he kind of hears this kind of weird thing off in the distance. So he goes off, what is this fox trap? A Fox News trap. They'd set up a Fox thing, and I just, it was so funny. I should have expected it, but I didn't think that they would go there. But it was just so perfect. And he's going, oh, Fox News. Oh, this is really good. They'll listen to me. They'll get my side of the story right. He's like going towards it. Then he hears this bird call and starts like looking around. There's the whites, and they're going, it's a fox trap. It's a trap. Go away. So he goes, oh, thank God for the whites, and then leaves. Then we get back to the kids, and we are now to hold on to the night and calling for Ike. Stan goes, this is not kick-ass music. And Greg goes, it's Hold On to the Night, Richard Marx, 1988. Do we really need music for this? And we're just listening to their own stuff. So he goes, forget Pandora, I'm going with Spotify. And then it's Pac-Man Fever as they continue going on. It's funny how they're hitting on the 80s nostalgia, and there's some good music, but then you forget all of the other music that's there. Just like any other one, when you have your nostalgia glasses on, you go to what you think is the best thing from that period and go, oh, okay, this music's pretty good. Thinking in It and Stranger Things, but then you get onto a radio channel and there was crap there too. So they continue on and they get to the cabin where they destroyed Cartman's computer and phone and everything. And Heidi's going, yeah, you brought me to this. And I felt so bad for you. And we'd just go to the park and talk for hours. How come we never do that anymore? Oh, fuck, here we go. You used to be so nice. And Then you started rolling your eyes every time I tried to talk to you, as we see Cartman do here as well, right as this going on. Kyle comes out saying that he's not here either. And they're going, well, maybe he's stopped his crusade or whatnot. And Kyle goes, you don't understand, Canadians are fiercely loyal to the country. When attacked, they all join the fight. And then we see Ike on a Newfoundland dog, a big kind of dog with a saddle, and dressed as a Mountie with his binoculars. And he's looking around, and then he sees something, and he goes up, and we see a used roll of toilet paper and a turd. And he goes up to it, breaks it in half, sniffs it, and is still tracking Garrison. And then he drops it, moves on. We get to the parents in the woods. This was another great scene going on with the whole PC principal and vice principal strong woman. But you don't think about it at first. They're trying to look around, and they go, oh, we found him. We found where he's hid out. So they see this tent, and Officer Rice goes, all right, I got a trap. We can trap him, but I need someone to flush him out. So Randy goes up with a slotted spoon, goes to the tent, and he was warned. Now remember, he's been eating animals, living like a monster. Just be prepared for what you're about to see. So he goes in the tent. Who's in it? PC principal and vice principal strongwoman. Pretty much doing it. And he goes, what are you doing? Oh my God. But you work together. And then Randy throws up. And he's vomiting inside, then he's vomiting outside. And he goes, they're together! And the rest of the people in the woods search party going like, what? What's going on? PC principal and vice principal. And everybody's just going, they can't. They're co-workers. And I love how they dig into this portion of how it is so fraught of trying to deal with relationships now. You can't date anybody who you work with. And how everybody's just completely sick right now of, oh my God, they come out and everybody just starts throwing up. And they're like, oh, he's her superior. Oh. Now granted, there could be power dynamics and everything that mess with that kind of thing. But we've, of course, heightened it to nobody who works together can have relationships. Ever. And even with the hint of it, everybody starts throwing up. It was just hilarious. So, we switch back over to the kids, and now the song is Play with the Queen of Hearts. And they found Ike's toy binoculars. And Heidi goes, oh, I remember this place. This was where you brought me for Halloween. Yes, darling, wasn't it romantic? And she goes, no, was it? You had me dressed up like Gretel. And that was the witch going on. You were trying to get me killed! And he goes, sweetheart, you made me late to the pumpkin patch. I was hurt. You were hurt? Yes. You were the victim. I'm glad you understand. And it's just crazy to see Heidi finally kind of understanding what's been going on in this relationship with Cartman. And she goes, you turned me into this. And, well, of course, the ghost Heidi's going like, who did this to you, Heidi? And she goes, shut up, you skinny-ass bitch. You don't know anything. And Cartman goes, I think you're kind of losing it, honey. And standing guys see Garrison, and he looks like Pennywise. And he's going, you know what, I'm severely dehydrated and starving. I'm pretty sick of this shit. And as he's trying to make his way towards them, he gets taken by a rope trap, and Ike's there and has him. So, oh God, we're getting towards the end goal. So we get to the community center. We see Heidi's parents talking about where they're searching at, where they're searching. Could Heidi be with her boyfriend? And talking about who has seen who or not seen anybody. And, of course, Randy and the search party come in, kind of freak out Sharon, wondering if, like, her kid's dead. But Randy tells her about PC principal and vice principal strongwoman, and she throws up on his face. And he's like, oh, God. So, it was just really funny how that was done. So then they hear a horn, and we see Ike coming in, riding with the dog, carrying a sleigh with President Garrison tied up. Everybody comes out, and people are cheering. Stan's okay. Everybody's like, yeah, we got him. We got that son of a bitch. And Bob comes up and takes the officer's gun and telling everybody to get back, get his family over to him. And Randy's like, Bob, for the love of Pete, our country's about to go to war. And then he brings up like the whole war on Christmas and how Randy just kind of shuts it down. And he's not saving Christmas, Bob. He's running around the woods. He's running around scaring your kids and shitting in the woods. Just lower that gun, Bob. Like, do what's best for your daughter, really. And he does lower the gun. But this, of course, leads to the whole kind of climax for Heidi as she runs up and grabs the gun and calls Cartman a piece of shit that it was your fault. You controlled me, you manipulated me, you turned me into this. And Cartman's like, baby, put down the gun, sweetheart. She goes, I used to be kind, caring, and then you, no, not you, me, I did this. And her voice has returned to normal. She is no longer a secondary Cartman. And I let being a victim become a way of life. If you always make yourself a victim, you justify being awful. Kind of what Kyle did. I kind of liked how they brought it to this point because Cartman is a really good example of always playing the victim, that everything is always against him and it always needs to be in his control and his manipulation. That's how he works as a character. He's kind of almost a parasite, but he wants to be more in control than a parasite would. And seeing Heidi come to this conclusion after we'd seen the seeds planted in the previous season and being played out this season was pretty cool. So this gives her the strength to say that we're breaking up. This, of course, leads Cartman to try his controlling and manipulative abilities on her, then taking the gun and threatening to kill himself. And she just goes, no, it's not going to work this time, Eric. And seeing her make that change was pretty cool. Now, of course, Cartman was trying to get everybody else to kind of have his back and say, no, don't do it, Eric. Of course, nobody was going for it, and Heidi just stuck to it. And she can't be the victim. And, of course, we see a woman scream, and Ike is looking down at something. We see that Garrison is gone. He's broken free. And everybody's like, the president's on the loose again. He's even more desperate now. It's going to get worse. And everybody's like, we can't destroy him, can we? And Renee goes, I don't know. And goes, it's up to the whites. And focuses on them and pans out. Now, I like how they kind of made him a Pennywise kind of dude. Now, granted, I am not that familiar with it, so I don't know exactly. I know some of what goes on with it since I'm into Stephen King, mainly The Dark Tower. But I don't know what they were trying to do with the whole white family being brought into that and kind of tie it off at the end of it. I like that they made Garrison kind of almost a supernatural kind of entity, kind of scaring everybody, linking it with Stranger Things and all that, and dovetailing in it with Heidi coming to the realization of what Cartman is and what she has chosen to do to herself. Because she just kept believing him and giving him the power and just being an awful person. And seeing her change and see her arc throughout this was pretty cool. And seeing Kyle trying to atone for what he did in the previous episode by trying to help Ike make sure he wasn't in trouble was cool too. The main weak part was the whole white family, and I believe that there just needed to be more depth to the joke for it to be a little bit better, because otherwise it just seemed kind of very surface level and didn't really add as much to what was going on as like PC Principal and Vice Principal Strongwoman, and how they kind of dovetailed into what was going on with Garrison and Kyle and Heidi. That had more of a cohesive effect together for their whole stories to come together rather than the white family joke. So I just wanted a little bit more with that because I just didn't feel there was enough depth with it. Otherwise, I really enjoyed how they were able to wrap up Garrison and the whole thing going on with Kyle kind of becoming his mother, realizing it, and trying to make amends for it, while also Heidi not being Cartman, because South Park doesn't need two Cartmans. That would kind of break the universe. So we're back to just Cartman being Cartman, and I think that's good enough, because I always love the stories that they do for him, and this is a pretty good story for him. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.